All right, welcome back. Well, police stopped a group of protesters marching towards the Indian High Commission in Dhaka's Gulshan area on Wednesday afternoon, demanding the return of deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and others who fled during and after the July uprising last year. The protest followed threats against Indian diplomats, prompting India to summon Bangladesh's envoy. The MEA said it expects the interim government to ensure the safety of missions and posts in Bangladesh in keeping with its diplomatic obligations. Several hundred protesters under the banner of July Okya assembled near Rampura Bridge and began their march at around 3:15 p.m. today. As the procession advanced towards Uttar Badda, police erected barricades to block the route, preventing the demonstrators from moving forward. Despite the obstruction, protesters managed to breach the initial barricade but were stopped again by a stronger police blockade further ahead. Unable to proceed, the demonstrators eventually sat on the road, raised slogans and addressed the gathering using loudspeakers. Earlier during the march, protesters were heard chanting slogans such as Delhi Na, Dhaka, Dhaka, Dhaka as they moved along the route. Law enforcement personnel were deployed in large numbers along the procession route to maintain law and order and prevent the situation from escalating. What does this mean amidst the deteriorating situation in Bangladesh and, of course, the decadence that we have seen in the relationship between India and Bangladesh over the past few months? Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev, former diplomat, with us on the show. Mr. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator, is with us on the show. Mr. Shoaib Chaudhary, editor of Blitz. He's joining us from Dhaka, Bangladesh at this point in time. Sumit Peer, I'll come to you. Well, these are worrying signs that we are seeing here, Sumit. This is obviously a politically motivated protest, the roots of which can be found perhaps if we dig deeper onto the present regime in Bangladesh, which does not take very lightly to India's past friendship with Sheikh Hasina.
Vinny, thank you for having me on your show, and you have summed it beautifully. So, well, the question is very simple. The current regime is pro-Pakistan. The current regime is controlled by ISI. Some of the strings are controlled by CIA, and some are even controlled by the Chinese intelligence. So, Bangladesh has become a playground for these three major intelligences. Today, almost all almost all Middle Eastern terror groups there. Turkey has a full-fledged interference there. They can still call the shots in Bangladesh. Muhammad Yunus's government is a government which is a puppet government essentially. Now, all these people have divided their territories. Hissa apna baant diya hai. And according to that, they want to run this. Like this Hasnat today, his statements about the Seven Sisters and all are quite atrocious. I don't know where does he get the honesty to talk like that. But at the end of the day, the Sheikh Hasina and all is a fig leaf they're using. It is on the behest of ISI. It is ISI, it is Mullah Munir who is fomenting the trouble. It is because of him you have seen threats coming to our High Commission and our diplomatic staff there. It is not only about to do with Sheikh Hasina. Basically, there are a lot of forces within Bangladesh also who want this election to be delayed, who don't want this election to happen at the right point of time. And what we are seeing is a fastly deteriorating situation. Bangladesh was a very proud country to be only Muslim and a secular country. But if you see what is the current situation going on today, these radicals and these jihadis have taken over everything and they have their fiefdoms beneath. Everybody works, operates and manipulates his own fiefdom. He can say whatever he wants to do. Yunus is just a coordinator. That is what he is. And that too, his strings are pulled by 3-4 people today. It depends whose string is stronger. He can pull him faster at that point of time. That is what is happening in Bangladesh. But, recently there was a survey also wherein it is quite said that, even Pakistan has opened madrasas there in which they were trying to, groom those kids who wanted to kind of come over to this side. And they want to have those headquarters in Malda, Murshidabad, 24 North Pargana. And then the other states of Northeast, they want to come and start mayhem there. Now, we know what is happening there. We know the situation in Myanmar is not good. We know the Rakhine province is devastated. We know there's a conflict going on between Thailand and Cambodia. And we know in Cambodia, China is the player. So if you start joining the dots beneath, these are foreign forces and elements at work. And they're taking advantage of Bangladesh's current turmoil where everything is weak. The target is India, the target is Northeast, and target is West Bengal. And remember the Turkish NGO which had that greater West Bengal map, which they published, and they said this is what the plan is going to be. And Mr. Shomitra Khan of BJP a couple of months back said that there is, almost a year back, said there is a Greater Bangladesh plan which they are working on. And as the border is very porous, at times you have fence at, they're around 480 kilometers, so you have no fence. And it is over land, it's over marshes, it's over lakes, it's one side of the river, other side of the river. It's not a very guarded border like we have with China and Pakistan. The fencing is not there. And there are a lot of elements which are at play. And don't forget, Vineet, the SIR is also happening in West Bengal. At times, what happens is if in the game of billiards, you hit the green ball, but ultimately the white ball and the next corner goes into the hole. That is what at times the things are done. So it's a quagmire of a lot of things which are percolating. But the idea is to have problems fomented for India by this type, that type, all type. They're all working together. And that is what I see is happening. But seriously, law and order is becoming a problem. Our High Commissioner, our diplomats, and the security of our consulate there is prima facie a responsibility of the interim government, and they cannot say that we have failed on that. And that is, which is a given, that is non-negotiable. And at the same time, we don't want the Hindus of the Bangladesh to face the brunt. We don't want them, unfortunately, to be the cannon fodder. We don't want them to be, looted and murdered because of this. Because if you see those guys, if you recall those guys, they are not typical Bangladeshi crowd. I saw some 13-year trying to jump the barricades. Does he even know what is the geopolitics? Does he know what is between us and India? Does he even know who is Sheikh Hasina? Because if you have 13-year-old kids trying to jump the barricades and do this patharbazi with the police, then you can very well understand, Vineet, this is a complete ISI playbook which is at work.
You're absolutely right. And Shoaib Chaudhary, editor of the Blitz, is joining us from Dhaka at this point in time. Colonel V.K. Sahi, 1971 war veteran, also is with us. But first up, let me take some ground reality from Shoaib, who's joining us. Shoaib, what do these people want? What's going on at this point in time? You've spoken against the current regime in the past as well. I remember you telling me that you were constantly under threat as well for writing against the present regime. This cannot all be about returning Sheikh Hasina back to Bangladesh. Like Sumit also said, that there has to be a bigger force behind these protests which are taking place in Dhaka at this point in time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vineet Malhotra. As Mr. Sumit has described, the people who were attempting to attack the Indian High Commission today, they comprise the members of the Student Front of Jamaat-e-Islami, the members of Hizb ut-Tahrir, members of Ansar al-Islam, which is the local franchise of Al-Qaeda, members of Hifazat-e-Islam, and also the stranded Pakistanis. And when Hasnat Abdullah gave the threat on India on the 16th of December, exactly the previous week, Paresh Borua of Ulfa, he has entered Bangladesh through Bangladesh-Myanmar border. He was staying in a village in Myanmar named Ten Chong village. And now when I'm talking to you, Paresh Borua is staying at the Defense Officers Housing Society's road number 5 in a safe house which is owned by Pakistani ISI. Road number 5, Defense Officers Housing Society in Dhaka, Paresh Borua is here. So what Hasnat Abdullah said that they are going to separate the northeastern state. Sadis Alam, another leader of NCP, he said they are going to demolish the Indian companies in Bangladesh. They demanded cancellation of visas to Indian citizens. So this is all Pakistani playbook, Pakistani ISI playbook. They want to turn Bangladesh into another terror patron nation or terrorist nation, similarly as Pakistan. And we cannot take this matter lightly, because when they are threatening the Indian diplomats in Bangladesh, so we should remember that those who are threatening, they are Al-Qaeda, they are Hizb ut-Tahrir, Jamaat-e-Islami meaning Muslim Brotherhood. So these are international terrorist organizations threatening Indian diplomats in Dhaka. And I would like to humbly say, tell my fellow co-panelist Sumitji, that only yesterday Donald Trump said they are not going to tolerate Islamic terrorism anywhere in the world. But they are doing this in Bangladesh. This terrorism is created by United States, maybe Biden administration, but United States. Donald Trump is facilitating this Yunus, this illegal regime of Yunus, and they are letting Pakistani ISI, Turkey infiltrate into Bangladesh, and even Donald Trump is letting China make lots of cash by selling weapons and military hardware, aircraft, fighter jets to Bangladesh. So this is Trump's fault. This is America's fault. America should immediately impose sanctions on Yunus. United States should immediately impose sanctions on Jamaat-e-Islami, sanctions on Ansar al-Islam. These are all global terrorist entities. And we Bengalis, 180 million, we are being held hostage into the grips of these agents and collaborators and cohorts and mercenaries of Pakistani ISI and other foreign elements. And as you mentioned about me facing threats, yes, I am facing threats almost every day. But what to do? I will not leave Bangladesh. I will fight back. But my nation is also fighting back. But as I said, many monstrous elements are in Bangladesh, Pakistani ISI, China, Turkey, and the Al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood. I would only hope that good sense prevails into the mind of Donald Trump, and he immediately
Well, you're right, Shoaib, you're right. He has commented about the situation in Bangladesh in the past as well. He's also spoken about the situation or the threat to Hindus in Bangladesh as well. I want to rope in Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev into this conversation as well. Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev, ever since Sheikh Hasina's departure from the political scene in Bangladesh, the relationship between India and Bangladesh has severely deteriorated. What happened today is obviously a notch up in that deterioration and that decadence. Where do we go from here when it comes to dealing with Bangladesh? You know, the ambassador was in fact pulled up today, but that's not going to do much against, considering the fact that the public opinion against India at large is not with us.
Thank you for having me. I think today is the first day after the Vijay Divas. 54 years ago, Indian Army liberated Dhaka on this day. This may be politically inconvenient in Bangladesh to remember, but the country should recall that over 10 million Bangladeshis took refuge in India at that time. And even subsequently, after Sheikh Mujib's assassination in 75, there were refugees in India. And India and Bangladesh have had this symbiotic relationship for quite some time. At an procedural level, one should recall that under Vienna Convention, host country Bangladesh is liable to give protection to Indian diplomats and premises of Indian diplomats, including the High Commission in Dhaka and consulates elsewhere. So it's there, the onus on defending those premises, those people, lies on Bangladesh on reciprocal basis. And this is the way civilized countries work with each other. Having said this, let me add that what is happening in Bangladesh is pyrotechnics. Elections have been declared for February 12. In the run-up to elections, all sort of parties are trying to galvanize masses, and they're trying to showcase their competitive patriotism because no one else has anything much to showcase. The current regime in power has very little to showcase. the economy has deteriorated, exports have fallen, and law and order has been abysmal. They are in a caretaker capacity and haven't got any sort of jism to carry on further. Here, uh, as was one of the earlier panelists mentioned, there are some people who would like the elections to be postponed or to be inconclusive. And these anarchists or part of the government, because government has very little possibility of continuing, they're not popular, no party represents the, the current dispensation, and they have already given up on trying to get re-elected. Sheikh Hasina is out of the reckoning. Her party has been forbidden, and the Nationalist Party is the leader is in Mrs. Zia is in a hospital abroad, and her son is planning to return. He has long winding cases, court cases, and sentencing to face. So in this kind of juxtaposed situation, some people are trying to take advantage of the situation and rev up the temperature. And the easiest way to do so is to attack the big brother India. And that's easy because it's an easy target, and big brother always sort of is convenient to externalize the problems
Right, sir.
of the
Right,
state.
you're right, sir. Let me also get a response from Colonel V.K. Sahi on this. Colonel Sahi, considering the fact that India was responsible for liberating Bangladesh from the clutches of Pakistan, are you disappointed to see this disposition and this mannerism that Bangladesh has adopted towards India?
It is disappointing. We lost over 4,500 Indians, our soldiers, in liberating erstwhile East Pakistan, giving birth to Bangladesh. About double that number were injured, wounded in war. A very expensive operation. The military machinery which was lost, we never sought and never got any war compensations for it. All to create a friendly nation renamed Bangladesh from East Pakistan, and thought we'll have good friendly relations, good neighborly relations. Worked very well for a short while till Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was alive. We also saw some better sparks with Sheikh Hasina till she was in government, and now that she has been ousted, she is in asylum. And with the annoyance of United States of America, who thought we are not doing chain with them, buying oil from Russia, not selling our grain when they wanted it, taking our own decisions, not succumbing to their tariff initiatives of trying to subdue us and bow us down. So they are, and in any case, Bangladesh so-called regime of today under Yunus is a puppet government of Americans. They are playing their game. Pakistan is fully involved in it. They have their men there. We saw some casualties taking place. We have reports of presence of not only Pakistan's ISI people there, we also got reports of the tanzeems, the terror tanzeems trying to open up and motivate people against India in Bangladesh. To top it all, what has been happening recently is with this SIR and elections of the West Bengal, the exodus which is taking place, Bangladeshis which are being deported, that is an additional irritant to whatever kind of regime they have in Bangladesh. And I think we were expecting, any right thinking mind, expecting something from their side to react to all this. Earlier also, when the Hindu community was being slaughtered, women being raped, houses being burnt, business establishments being raided and vandalized, there was a lot of hue and cry in some of these sections of people, politicians within India, trying to exhort India. Why don't you fight and all that? Why don't you support them? Why don't you walk in Bangladesh? Well, walking in Bangladesh is not a joke. An international decision of wage a war doesn't come on emotions. It comes on ground realities, and I don't think it could have been a very wise decision if any military.
You're right, sir. We do have a paucity of time. I want to quickly bring in Sumit Peer as well before we sign off. I saw his hand go up. Sumit, what is this a sign of? How are we going to, in fact, thaw this tension that has been created with Bangladesh for no fault of ours?
We need to look, it is not a localized tension. There are a lot of international players which are at work. And as long as Yunus is there, he has to try to keep everybody happy. You know, is he's trying to dance to everybody's toes. Monday is key tune, Tuesday is key tune, Wednesday is key tune. That is what he's doing right now. There are some red lines which have to be very clear. Look, the people of Bangladesh overall have to understand what Colonel Saab rightly said. We have lost men, we have fought with sweat, blood, and with all our valor to liberate the country. We know the kind of rapes they were doing. And the General Niazi, I was reading an article a couple of days back, and his men used to say कि हमारा तो boss भी rape करता हम भी करते हैं. I mean, that is how they justified rape. There was a place in Bangladesh called Senator Homes. It was a brothel where Niazi used to sit and where all the commission used to come, and that the owner of the brothel, the lady, used to take care of all about his needs and the needs of his generals or soldiers who were important, and all the business dealings, all the forged contracts and everything happened there. And when Bangladesh got repleted, Yahya Khan was drunk with his wine and with Noor Jahan and what was his called General Rani. There was his famous concubine, but he was there. He was drunk with them. And when they told that Bangladesh got repleted, do you know what did they say? Acha hoga, pukke nange Bangladeshi gaye. So they used to go pukke nange. I mean, the typical thick Punjabi accent, I don't have that. So that is what is. Now, if these people have forgotten everything, if radicalization is started coming out of Bangladesh, if ISI can have a free run there, if these all jihadi sangatans of the world can have a free run there, and they're all threatening India there, the problem here is Bangladesh will not become Pakistan. Bangladesh, if not controlled, will directly become Afghanistan, where everybody will have a small fiefdom. And that fiefdom will be controlled by everybody. Look, there's a difference between Bangladesh and Pakistan. Still in Pakistan, there's a powerful army which can control the shots. Who in Bangladesh can today control the shots? Who can control the Bangladesh army? No. Bangladesh politicians? No. So the answer is, if Bangladeshis don't wake up and smell coffee, forget what they can do to India. They can't do much, but you will end up worse than Pakistan. So are you ready to go back and be seen as the next Afghanistan of the world? Have you forgotten those rapes, what you have done? I mean, literally, I don't want to use this word, but you were literally like those concubines of the Pakistanis and how they were treating you. Now, we put our men on the line to protect you, but we don't expect our Hindu brothers and our ambassador and our High Commission to be put on the dart for doing all the right things and helping you all the way till this date. But ye galti hai kya hamari? What is our mistake? What have we done wrong to you?
Absolutely right. Sumit, you're absolutely right. You've articulated it to the T. Appreciate your thoughts and appreciate the thoughts and perspectives of everybody who joined in. We'll take a short break now. Be right back with more.